Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how are you? Grab your coffee, maybe a snack or two. Let's get into it, okay? So, this video is going to be a little touchy. I will say that. I was given some information, all right, about the coincidences that have been going on, okay? And a few of you had reached out to me, okay? And the first email that I'm going to read to you about says this. I realized that I was never a fireman, okay? But I did date an arson investigator. How can rolled corn with a high moisture content placed in a cooler self-combust, or the bags of corn with dust placed near an electrical outlet start a fire? Maybe it's different there. However, most coolers I have been in have moisture on their own, usually have a lower oxygen level, and some shut off and provide a level of fire protection since they are metal. What am I missing here? I don't know. It's a very good question. It's a very good question because, as you know, the investigation on Azure Standard has been completed. Okay? So there are quite a few things, okay? There was an open letter to the transition team of Potatoes Administration, all right? So I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll put up the pictures of the letter, okay? I also have the PDF of this letter. So if you would like this letter, email me and I will email you the PDF as well. Okay, so it says, to the newly elected officials, members of Potatoes transition team, and other stakeholders of the food system. Okay, I want you to keep that in the back of your mind as I'm reading this to you, okay, because this has to do with our supply chain, the food system, and the crises that we are in right now, okay, at a time when our nation faces simultaneous health, economic, and hunger crises. We united our voices to convey 5 key points around the U.S. food system. Together we ask you that, 1, just listen, okay? Recognize that the food system is critical to the administration's goal of a more equitable, sustainable, resilient, and healthy recovery from, the debacle, okay? The food system is a huge engine for the U.S. economy. Yet, as the pandemic has revealed, the food system is broken. It is failing to deliver affordable, healthy diets for all. Food insecurity rates, which were high before the pandemic, have since increased dramatically, particularly among communities of, now this I don't like, how they put it this way, okay? This got under my skin, particularly among communities of color and households with children. Wages are so low that food system workers rely on SNAP at double the rate of the rest of the U.S. workforce, and many farmers are struggling to break even under crippling debt. The food system, from production to consumption, is rampant, with systemic inequality starting from access to the land itself through the implementation of programs. It is also a major contributor to climate change. Transforming the food system provides a critical opportunity to address the 4 priorities outlined by the Potato Transition Team. Now, Please understand these are not my words, okay? Please understand that. RONA, racial justice, economic recovery, and climate change. Racial justice. When are these people going to realize that we are of one race, the human race? And until they get that in their thick skulls. Diet quality is an important factor to resilience to pandemics. Agriculture provides, this is getting very hard. So elevate and invest in the contributions of those previously left out. Now is the moment to change food systems, structures, and leaders to be inclusive of small, mid-sized producers. Black, Indigenous, and people of color, women, new and beginning farmers, and food sector workers, including immigrants. This is not just morally right, but the practical way to create more localized and resilient production and distribution, which will spur economic growth, improve nutrition, and reduce the food shortages we have seen during the pandemic. Appoint systems leaders and establish the backbone processes to enable a holistic approach. To realize the opportunity of food system transformation, public sector leaders in the White House, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Health and Human Services, the Department of Defense, the Department of Interior, the Food and Drug Administration, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of Commerce, the Department of Labor, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the Department of Transportation, the Small Business Administration, the Department of Justice need to see and understand the entire food system and actively seek to collaborate and integrate the different disciplines and sectors, e.g., nutrition, agriculture, natural resources, environment, transportation, technology, health, education, civil rights, to create a holistic strategy for food. This coordination must include representatives from tribal governments as an integral part of process and strategy. The right interagency processes and individuals, such as Deputy Assistant for the President of Food and Nutrition Policy with an office or council, and an interagency working group will provide the essential backbone for this holistic approach. Identify and act on the quick wins. We applaud the President-elect's commitment to increase benefits under SNAP by 15% temporarily, provide low-income families with $100 per month in extra nutritional support, and take administrative actions such as reversing the public's charge rule. There are other significant changes that are possible in the first days of a new administration to ensure that families and children have access to nutritious food and that our country's food producers are supported. These changes include ensuring that food sector workers are safe and able to earn a living wage. Small and mid-sized farmers, fishers, and ranchers are provided the tools and opportunities they need to prosper. Healthy, sustainable, and locally sourced food is incentivized, and economic recovery funds are building resilient and equitable prosperity, including local food system infrastructure and access to finance. Many of the signatories to this letter have specific examples and policies and executive actions they would like to see implemented and stand ready to assist. We look forward to working with you to realize the transformative potential of our food system. The moment is now. Signed by American Farmland Trust, American Heart Association, Appeal Sciences, Arabella Advisors, Council for a Strong America and Mission Readiness, Paula Daniels, Danone North America, PBC, Dariush Mozafarian, DC Greens, Duke University, Earth Justice, Environmental Defense Fund, Family Agriculture, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on. Wow. Here's the pictures. Okay, so this PDF that I have, it's about the ransomware attacks on agricultural cooperatives potentially timed to critical seasons. Okay. And I believe, and the person that sent it to me also, excuse me, Stormy, stop it, please. Yes, I see you. Believes that it has something to do with these fires. Okay. And it's a possibility. Okay. So if you want this PDF, all right, email me. All right. I thought it was the PDF was about that, about what I just read to you, but it's not. And I also have pictures of all the dates and everything that was, you know, of all the fires. Okay, so I will put that up for you. It's just the information that I just read to you. There's also, it came in a link, not a PDF. So I'm sorry for saying that it was a PDF. The PDF is the private industry notification. It's from the a 3-letter agency. Okay, so I'll just say that. It's just terrible. It really is. Okay, because what the PDF has to do with is the dozens of food U.S. processing plants destroyed in fires, accidents in recent weeks. Okay. He's a good boy. Yeah. So I will put up now what I have dealing with all of the fires. Okay, here you go. Okay, so this was sent to me by a subscriber. She said, look up RITE, wood eggs in Lewiston, Lewiston, Utah. It's in northern Utah. As of Friday, the bird flu hit, and they are now killing all of the chickens. And there's now limits on eggs, and prices are going through the roof. Okay, so she this subscriber, she wanted to let everybody know. Okay, so if you are in that area, all right, so now this subscriber works for a freeze dryer company. Okay, and she sent me the email that was sent to her and everybody else who works for this company. Okay, so I'm going to read it to you. And it says, an update on our current situation. Okay, so anybody who has a freeze dryer, okay, or you're thinking about getting a freeze dryer, listen to this. It's been a while since I sent an email, and for that I apologize. It was partly because we are not sure what we could announce, because demand was fluctuating by the day and for a while there, and part of me just honestly worried about sending anything out. And as no matter what I said, it had the potential to spark some panic buying, and we have been struggling to keep it up as it is. So first, let me say this. There is nothing to panic about that we are seeing, and therefore no reason to panic buy. Sure, we are wrestling with the same things that every other company in our industry is: supply chain shortages, extremely high demand, longer lead times for many products, astronomical price increases, labor shortages, transportation challenges, you name it. But I don't see anything that tells me that it is going to get worse. There is no doubt that some products have still yet to see the worst in this new reality of ours. But those products are becoming scarce. Some items are starting to open up. So I firmly believe that there is no major cause for alarm just yet. We may all have to get used to some changes in diet, some of our favorite foods costing more, but all of the predictions of mass famine and global hunger don't appear to be a sure thing, in my opinion. There's still plenty that can go wrong, but there is also time to right the ship. This year will be one for the record books for sure, but I am not convinced, like many are, that this is a tipping point. Americans are at their best when we are told that something can't be done. This can still be fixed. When we see $50 per pound prices on beef, or literally zero poultry available for purchase, then we'll be panicking right there with you. So what are we up to? With that said, there are no doubt still going to be some challenges ahead. Supply is still the biggest challenge, in my opinion. Cost is a close second. What good is having all the poultry we want if it's so expensive that it is out of our reach? So with demand literally at historic levels and virtually everything we produce impacted by global events to some degree, we have to make some changes to our business model on the fly. First, I have been getting the question about what happened to our military contract and our pre-sales. The answer is nothing. We are still producing it per the original agreement. I have just decided to suspend sales of these items to the public temporarily until such time as I know that I can continue to produce the items for the government on time and on budget. Red flag number 1. Red flag. So you can't buy freeze dryers anymore if you're a civilian. You're only going towards the government. Yeah. Stormy, what do you do? Trying to have sales on them for you at the same time that we are producing them for the government is just not possible given the level of consumer demand we are dealing with right now. So we will just postpone them, not cancel them. As soon as we can catch a break, and I feel like we can do a pre-sale on one or more of these new mid-rats, I will let you know. You have my word that I will make every single one of them available to you. You will not miss out on a single one. I promise. I just need to be sure I can deliver on any and all orders that I take. And if I can't guarantee that, I hesitate to take the order. But I will roll them all out to you just as soon as I can. So watch your emails from me. Yeah. And then in big bold letters it says, remember, when disaster strikes, the time to prepare has passed. Wow, dude. Really? You're saying that there's no famine coming. There's no time. There's no panic. Nothing. Right? But you're going to suspend all sales to citizens that want this product, because you're going to focus on the government, on your sales to the government. But yet, remember, when the disaster strikes, the time to prepare has passed. Yeah, well, guess what? You just halted anybody who wants to buy that product. You just halted their time to prepare. So I hope you can sleep better at night. And before I go, I'm gonna talk about this. Okay, so the supply chain crisis. I know we've been talking about this like it's like beating a dead horse, but it's so important. It really truly is. Okay, it's caused entire countries to shut down. Okay, for months over a pandemic, and and the invasion, okay, and new lockdowns in some producer countries, and is now causing some countries so much economic stress that they're defaulting on their debts, okay? And you know that an entire country, they can declare force majeure. I hope you understand that, okay? So Sri Lanka, okay, which is currently undergoing massive unrest right now due to a tanking economy, has announced that in order to preserve what dollar reserves it has in order to buy food and energy for its people, it will suspend its debt payments, like triggering outright defaults that could produce a domino effect. And how many times have we used that term on this channel? Domino effect or trigger effect, okay? So Sri Lanka warned of an unprecedented default, and they halted payments on foreign debt, and extraordinary step taken to preserve its dwindling dollar stockpile for essential food and fuel imports. All right. Now, all payments to bondholders, bilateral creditors, institutional lenders that are currently outstanding have been suspended until the finance ministry can arrange a debt restructuring plan. And Nan Dalal, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the person's last name, Weerasinghe. This person is the newly appointed governor of Sri Lanka's central bank, okay? They told a press conference briefing that the government is attempting to negotiate with creditors, but is also warning that there's going to be a default. And measures being taken now are like a last resort in order to prevent a further deterioration of the Republic's financial position. It is now apparent that any further delay risks inflicting permanent damage on Sri Lanka's economy and causing potential irreversible prejudice to the holders of the country's external public debts. Now, this announcement comes along for President Gotabaya, not going to try and pronounce the last name, Rajapaksa, and his brother, who's a prime minister, to resign. Though so far both have refused to do so. The Gotabaya has called instead for unity and better understanding earlier this week as he greeted citizens for the Sinhala and the Tamil New Year festival amid rising angst over the skyrocketing inflation that is currently running at a 20% year-over-year and daily electricity cuts that often last as long as 3 hours. Can you imagine? That's insane. So that's what these countries are going through right now, okay? And just remember that an entire country can declare force majeure if they can't pay their debts. I mean, the global debt of nations is worsening thanks to this ongoing crisis in the supply chain amid worsening inflation. The collapse is just a matter of time. Okay, it really truly is if the trajectory remains the same. So just keep that in mind. Okay. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, feel less.